welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly from Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. With head coach Rodney Terriarty, always allow you the honor of introducing our special guest, although in this case I don't think he even needs introduction.
Yeah, I don't think he really does. You know, this is Westlake's finest right here. I mean, you know, local here, Austin, Brock Cunningham, team captain, leader on our team, and without further ado, he's ready to roll.
You know, Brock is closing in on some records, like being the winningest player in Longhorn basketball history. I would also say this. I think you have also already set the record for most appearances at Pluckers by a Longhorn basketball player.
I think so. My first one was back in 2019.
Yeah,
so.
see? Yeah, so it's good. It's good to see you again. RT, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about what he has meant to the program and how, because I know this. You and Shaka Smart are pretty tight, and Shaka was so glad to see Brock when we were up in Milwaukee for the game against Marquette, and I know what he felt Brock meant to the program, but I know how you feel. I know how Coach Beard felt as well about what Brock has meant to this program.
Yeah, he's really proud of Brock. He's, you know, how far he's come in terms of over the course of his career, and you know, now he's reached a point in his career last year, this year, where he plays meaningful minutes, and he's an impact guy for us. He's a guy who really, you know, cares the heart and soul of what we do every single day, and really tries to defend our culture at a high level.
What has it meant to you? I mean, you're a local product. Like I said, the pride of Westlake. You're a local product. What has it meant to you to be such a big part of this program here in this town that's been your hometown to be here during these 6 seasons?
You know, I've just kind of put one foot in front of the other. I think I'll have a better grip for it when I actually do step away from the University of Texas. But I've enjoyed every single moment. Each year has been unbelievably memorable and a ton of fun. I've just learned along the way.
Okay, we'll get this part out of the way. The game on Tuesday night. But before we get to the actual collision itself, our team was talking about how in practice on Sunday, there was a lot of that stuff going on, right? You guys were getting pretty fit. You said some of them were very similar to the collision you were involved in. Yeah,
absolutely. With a game like Texas Tech, we played how we practiced. And, you know, we're going to try and continue to work on that through the rest of the season. But that competitive edge gave us the edge to go win that game.
You've always played with an edge.
I have.
You know? So toward that end, take us through what you saw in your mind with the ball heading over to the side, and you were going over the side. I mean, we know what happened, and we know what was ruled by the officials and that sort of thing. But take us what was going through your mind, what you saw happening, and how you went on that.
Oh, you know, it was a bang-bang play. Ball's going out of bounds. He's making a play for it, and we just ended up colliding a little bit too far away from the ball. Ended up being ruled a flagrant 2. It happens, but part of the game.
What did the officials say to you?
I think I told him I was going for the ball. He said something like no. I don't know. It got pretty loud in there after the collision.
Yeah, it did. It got real loud after that. RT, you know, first of all, take us through what when the officials explained it to you, A, and then B, we'll get into all the hijinks that happen after that.
Well, you know what, from my angle where I was as the play was occurring and happening in real time, I thought there was definitely a play on the ball where, again, Brock was making a direct, going directly toward the ball. You know, now was there another guy coming at that same time and he was trying to make a play as well? I thought so too. But as the two were coming together, Brock, you know, said I'm going to get probably the better of this collision, not myself, you know. But I think there was clear intent on trying to get to the ball.
Yeah.
There was not an intent on trying to hurt anyone. And again, first to the floor is our mentality. First one that gets there has an opportunity to come up with that ball.
Well, and to be fair, I also thought that what you were trying to do was get to the ball first and cut off the angle of the defender coming in. And then because the angle was getting cut off, the collision ends up doing that thing. So it happens. They tell you that you are disqualified from the game at that point. You turn and with a broad smile, you took them to the Texas Tech student section, didn't
Absolutely.
you? Which then incited all of the stuff that got thrown on the floor, you know, right?
Running out the tunnel, I put the horns up, and immediately, I mean, a dozen beer cans got thrown at me. It was funny.
There was a large one that hit the floor first.
Yep.
Then there were water bottles, and then I think what Corey Schlesinger picked up, there was a vape pen or something like that went as well.
Yep.
So there was a lot of stuff that happened on that. So what did you do after you watched the rest of it in the locker room?
Yeah, it took a little while to get set up, so I showered, got
Yep.
changed, listened to a little music, but caught the last, I think, 8 minutes
Okay.
after we got it set up.
Okay. And RT, tell everybody again what the conversation was like, which you had with Kelly Self, the crew chief, once things were getting kind of crazy, because we were, obviously, our broadcast position was down by the bench, so we could see all the stuff coming, the ice, the bottles, the debris, all that kind of stuff. And I saw you call the guys further out onto the floor because this was getting into a self-preservation mode, wasn't it?
Well, there were a lot of objects being thrown to the floor, and then there were objects being thrown toward our bench. So we started getting our guys more toward half court. And I said to Kelly, Kelly, if we don't get this thing under control, I'm going to have to protect my players, and we may have to go to the locker room. I said, and every time they throw something, that's a technical foul for us. So I'm like, that's one, that's two, should be three, but we'll take two.
and then you made a point of pointing this out, that Grant McCaslin, the head coach of Texas Tech, did an excellent job of getting on the mic and telling folks, he said this several times, this has got to stop, was part of his words.
No, absolutely. I mean, Grant McCaslin's done a great job there this year. He's done a great job, instilling his culture. He's coached his team really well this year. I got a chance to coach Grant for 2 years at Baylor University. He's a first-class guy. He's a high-character guy. And I think for him to do that, I think that really diffused the whole situation and gave us a chance to finish the game. But, a stand-up young man and a guy I'm really proud of.
What was he like as a player when he was at Baylor, when you were on the Baylor staff?
Oh, Grant, you know what? You know what? He brought energy every single day, and when he didn't bring energy, I was on him pretty good about it because it was something we expected him to bring every day. And there was a time that he was supposed to do really well academically, and he wasn't carrying his weight academically. So I got after him pretty good and took him in the office with Coach Miller and myself, and we kind of chastised him for not doing a good job academically.
And he turned it around?
He never forgot that.
Yeah, okay. All right. We're visiting with Brock Cunningham. We're going to have some fun with Brock coming up as we continue here. Longhorn Weekly from here at Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin, presented by the Texas Lottery, continues in a moment. Naismith left side, out to Brock Cunningham. Left alone to shoot the three. Good! Brock knocks it down, the three, and the Longhorns are up by 21. 42-21, down to 50 seconds remaining in the first half. We welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly from here at Pluckers, the West Campus location. Our special guest, the guy I like to refer to as the People's Choice, Brock Cunningham with us. You knocked down the big three. One thing you have, over the last couple of years, looked a lot more comfortable shooting the three, and it's a pretty quick release on the catch and shoot thing. Have you found that worked for you better even than taking a dribble or moving to a side to escape a defender to put it up?
Yeah, it's been a long process trying to get my shot figured out, and this year we had a little bit of a down period where we're getting it back right now, but it's starting to feel really good again.
For folks who don't know, here's the number: that most career wins by an individual player being a part of victories in Texas Longhorn basketball history. Number one all time is a tie, A.J. Abrams and Connor Ashley, who were there from 06 to 09. They're at 109 wins. Third place, this guy, 107. So the Longhorns are taking care of business. You'll surpass it before the regular season is over, right?
Hopefully.
Well, all right. So, I mean, that obviously, it means a lot to you, like I asked you about being a part of this program as well. And also, you think of all the teammates you've had. Mm-hmm. And I know folks have made a lot out of talking about playing for three different head coaches, but the guys, I mean, that's been the most rewarding part of all this, playing with these guys, right?
Absolutely. That the most wins all time is really just who you've been around and who has coached you. I've been blessed to play for three great coaches, surrounded by great teammates my entire time here. So that's more of a program award than it is any personal.
Now, because you're a grad student now in the sixth year, mm-hmm. we talked about this last year, your foray into the advertising mm-hmm. realm. How's that going?
It's going good. I'll finish my master's this spring. Done a few internships in different areas: entertainment, marketing, real estate. So I've kind of branched out to see what fits me. But I'll play professional basketball next year, and I'll figure out what exactly I want to do after that.
So you do plan to play professional basketball?
I do.
Somewhere?
Somewhere.
Okay. Now, do you see yourself as like a giant commercial real estate magnate or something like that? I mean, what do you see beyond basketball whenever that time comes on down the road?
You know, I think you hit it right on the head. Commercial real estate's definitely a strong option, but I'm 18 to 24 months out from really making a decision, but real estate could definitely be an option.
All right, now I've got to ask you about something else that's kind of important. I know it's been important to you in the past because we've talked about it, I think, the last few years.
Over the years.
Over the years when we've been here, and that is what I've referred to as Brock tours the world. Because you had this deal when you've gotten done at the end of the semester, you hop in a truck, right?
I do, yep.
And then you just take off across the country, right?
Just go.
Where all have you gone back to the same places? Where all have you gone on these adventures?
I've been as far north as Montana and as west as San Francisco, LA, San Diego, all throughout Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming. The only place that I frequent is Laramie.
Okay.
It's a unique town if you've never been. It's almost lawless in a way. But just getting out, exploring nature, finding buddies along the way, it's just a nice way to disconnect.
Laramie is almost lawless?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like your game.
A little bit, yeah. That's why I fit right in.
Okay, so is there another plan to do one more trip after this sixth season?
Absolutely. You know, this one I won't have to be back for workouts. My time at Texas will almost be done, so I'll stretch this one out for 2 weeks. Maybe go as far as Washington this time, but really try and see more of the country.
So this is all west, though.
All west, yep.
So you didn't have any desire to drive in Manhattan?
No, I no Kansas for me quite yet.
Okay, no, I didn't mean Manhattan, Kansas. I meant Manhattan, New York.
Oh, Manhattan, New York. No, the only time I went west was when KJ Adams and I did a road trip. We only went west for about east for about 2 hours.
Okay, all right. You brought up KJ. For folks who don't know, of course, KJ, outstanding player for the Kansas Jayhawks. You were teammates in high school. He's talked about you being his best friend. I know you wore the pink shoes, a tribute to his mother, whom he lost. What is that dynamic like, being so close to a guy who plays for another team that you got to go up against?
You know, it's fun. I compete at the highest level against him, but when we were growing up, that's what you dream of. So I can't help but not play with a smile playing against him. He's had an unbelievable career. I've cheered him on at every leg. He's had a really tough year and just handled it like a man. So it's been just a ton of fun and rewarding for me to see him have so much success.
Do you have conversations like, hey, I look forward to going up against you again?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. He's never beat me in one-on-one, so I'll hold that. He's got to get me before I retire, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. In terms of what's left of this regular season and then the postseason, there's 3 games left in the regular season. What is really important for this basketball team to do to achieve what you've got to achieve on the floor? First against Oklahoma State on Saturday, big Monday game in Waco, the rematch with Baylor, and then you close out with OU on Senior Day the following Saturday. And you will go through on this Senior Day, right?
I will.
Okay, all right. All right. So with it, what really stands out as to what you guys need to do to get where you need to go over these next 3 ball games?
Well, I think the blueprint was shown against Texas Tech. Our competitive edge is what got us over to the win the other day, and I think if we keep playing like that, with that much passion and energy, it'll take care of itself. And if we lose one, you know, we'll be proud that the way we handled it. But just playing as hard as we did the other day.
It's always great to visit with you. I appreciate this. I know we've got some more time together on down the road, but I appreciate you coming by tonight.
It's our last one, Craig.
That's it. It's the last one there. The People's Choice. Brock Cunningham with us. Coach Terry will join us coming up. We'll get some of your questions coming up when Longhorn Weekly continues here from Pluckers on the Longhorn Network and the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.